Hello, my name is Johnny. Welcome to another Marvel Character Talk. Today we're going to look at a book that just came out in 2023, all about the Marvel value stamps. If you'd like, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, reply, and share. It's by Roy Thomas, who's the second writer in the mid to late 60s after Stan Lee hired some young folks. And then he would become one of the main writers for Marvel in the 70s and their editor and so forth. And he just done a lot of hit books about Marvel. This is a book all about the Marvel value stamps. You wouldn't think you could get a whole book about it, but they did. Look at the back first. And of course, these are notorious for the kids that cut them out under Stan's orders, where it said clip them and collect them, and so forth, and much less value. Most notoriously, we're going to show that stamp in here, was cut out of Hulk 181 and lowered the value of that for kids. And when you see who the stamp is, it isn't exactly a big Marvel superhero. And here's the book here. This is it, True Believer. All about 1974, 75, 76, the Marvel value stamps, and there was more than one series too, so ruining comics and all those different years, cutting them out, and for not much purpose. And it was very hard to ever get all of them, and you needed to get all of them to get the so-called benefits of it. There you can see the price, $30 book. It shows the other ones. Look through the back. The second series wasn't as interesting. There's some ads there. And see, these stamps were like a puzzle. You can see that's Stan Lee there. So these, unlike the other ones that are individual stamps of characters, so you cut them out and they went together. There's Stan Lee himself. You can see this kind of color-coded here. There's the Captain America. So that's from that cover from 69, and they broke it into sections, and then they would show the actual letters page. They were usually always on a letters page where you cut that out, and a lot of times, besides cutting out of the book in general, the letters page would be on one of the story pages. Sometimes they were at the end, sometimes they were at the middle, so depending on how the kid cut it out, you'd have a hole that big cut out of the magazine, or who knows how people cut them out. So a lot of comics were ruined from that time period because of these. But that being said and aside, we'll look at the other stamps. The first series that's in the front of the book here. This is there was less of these, and like I said, they made a big picture. You put them together, 12 or so. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 sections to make them. I have a bunch of the stamps cut out. Some I had put into a book, the original ones, and then these I still have loose. That way, all these years were cut out for no reason. Now, you're trying to get them all. Little did I know they'd have them spread out over so many Marvel titles. It was just about impossible to get them all. So they'll tell you where the stamps were in there. So the last stamp was 100. I got that, and that's what the bulk of this book is. They'll show the artwork. Usually it was from a cover, and there it is there, and recolored. And here they'll show this. And the stamp was in Spider-Man 145. Probably cut it out of that. It was also in a Submariner and a Fantastic Four. And then it's Jack Kirby and Joe Sinnott from 1966. So very cool. There's the Sandman. It was taken from the Ditko artwork. And instead of the Sandman green, they had him in the purple, which he switched over to purple while he was a member of Frightful Four. You can see these. So very cool. We'll go page by page on all of these. I'll show them in the front cover down here. They have them, most of them all there, so you can see an overview. Electro Silver Surfer. Never did get the Silver Surfer one. That was from what? 2-in-1, number 5, Sergeant Fury and Werewolf by Night. So say it wasn't in like a Spider-Man, Avengers, X-Men, or whatever. So I never got that one. And they started a little bit before I was collecting thoroughly. And again, these pictures are here from the artwork. So there's Barra, why they bothered to do that character. And there he is on the cover. And which issues they was in. It was in a team-up. Some things were only in one book. Some were in 2, 3, 4 of them. Multiple books. Dr. Doom, there's Dragon Man. Some of them they recolored. So this one, like Dragon Man's green on the cover, but that was more of his correct color, that purplish color. And very few of them they changed the artwork a little bit from what their source was. And then some of the characters that were non-superheroes got a stamp. In this case, Mary Jane Watson. That was from Spider-Man 42. That was in FF 47 in a Man-Thing issue. And it's neat to read the letters pages in here. And a lot of letters they picked out were people that were turned out to be future writers for Marvel. And college kids and so forth. So they didn't really print any letters from young folks, which is kind of disappointing. They could have had at least one letter from an obviously younger fan that said, "Oh, I like this and you should have that. This is good art." And that. They always had these long thing, college age university student letters that were in all of these. I love that Red Ghost and Super Apes. That's Jack Kirby. There he is there with the Super Apes. Red Ghost. Coming up, I can see I have the little piece of paper in there showing. And there it is, the notorious. It appeared in Hulk. And then look, it was in these other ones, but I didn't have those. So it was in Hulk 181. The Shanna the She-Devil art. So that's the Notorious 54 is cut out of that issue. There it is. There's the letters page from that issue. So that's what ruined a lot of Hulk 181. Shanna the She-Devil cutting that out. There's 53. Grim Reaper. And in the front here, after showing all the stamps, I never had that Bucky one. There was Craven, Gladiator, Black Knight, Sergeant Fury. They never had the Warriors 3, Thor, Shang-Chi, Iron Man, the Mummy, Doctor Strange, Deathlock, that Captain Marvel, there's Captain America, the Werewolf, Thor, Dracula. Okay, so there's Conan. Hulk was number 2, and that was in several things, including a Spider-Man, an Iron Man, a giant size FF, and so forth. And Herb Trimp art, and from June of 72. And the first one was Spider-Man. From that, Thor and Power Man, Captain Marvel. I never had number 1 because I didn't have those issues. So it's cool. So that gives you a reference point. So if you want to ever try to find the stamps, you can find those issues and you'll find the stamp there. And then they show you about how the book, they would go in the book. There's the overview. So it was number 100 was the Biggie Galactus. There's the stamps. some information on how they first started to get the idea for it, Stan did. And then he talks about them, a little history in the time, because Roy Thomas was working there, and how they came up with Stan came up with the idea and how to do it and so forth. There it is. This book, this company, if you want to look that up. 2023. I just got it a couple of months ago and read it. Like I said, most of it is reading the letters from the people at the time. And there's the inside. There's a look again about the stamps. I'll dig those out. Like I said, I have the stamps that I got in a scrap goods pasted on for this, and the other ones were saved somewhere else, just loose with the rubber band, but these were the good series. Until next time, another Marvel character talk. Thanks for watching, everyone. Marvel value stamps. Clip them and collect them. Enough said. Excelsior!